Welcome to exercise 3. In this exercise we're going to learn how to place turnouts, place crossovers and place crossings. The skills taught are to place a turnout, place a crossover, place a crossing, connect turnouts, crossovers and crossings to tracks, extend turnouts and create a turnout report. The first object that we're going to place is a simple turnout, and we're going to place this on the track main line. We're going to place this about station 840 on our main line track. So I'm just going to window in to that location. And from the ribbon menu, I'm going to select Rail, Turnouts, Place Turnout. First of all, on the end of your cursor, you will have a heads-up prompt that's asking you to locate the rail center line. You also get a dialog box on here. Now, I find it easier using the Place Turnout tools to actually populate the turnout box before I place the actual turnout itself. So the hand, or which side of the track this turnout's going to be placed, is it's to the left. The orientation, whether it's leading or trailing, leading is going with the stationing of the track and trailing is going against the stationing with the track. Well, we're using trailing this time because the turnout is going to be pointing back towards these two sidings here. The placement point is by point 0, but you can pick other locations for the placement point from the pull down menu. The type of turnout that we're going to place is from the turnout library, and in this particular case we're going to use from the turnouts single turnout, turnouts -113A and AV6 type of turnout. The actual name we're going to give to this turnout again is entirely up to the user, but in this particular case I'm going to call it T1. Now I'm going to locate the center line that I'm placing the turnout on, which is this track main line. The toe point, well, this is the point that you're going to place the stationing of the turnout on, is going to be stationing 840. And now you can see you've got the turnout. And all I have to do is now data point to place it. Now all I have to do now is use the element selection tool to cancel the placing of the turnout. And there you can see the turnout placed at stationing 840. Next, we're going to place a crossover. Now a crossover is a type of turnout that is placed between two parallel alignments. And again, the type of crossover can be selected from the turnout library. In this particular case, we're going to place it at station 310. So I'm just going to move the view and window in to the start of the sidings here. You can see station 300 here. And again, I'm going to go to Rail ribbon, Turnouts, and I'm going to create a crossover. Again, you can populate the panel before you actually place the turnout. Again, the orientation is leading because this time it's going with the stationing. Placement point is point 0. Again, the type of crossover that we're placing is an AV6. And again, I'm going to give this a name. And this time I'm going to call this CR1. And now I'm going to follow the prompts. And I'm prompted to locate the first center line, which is our track main line. locate the second center line, which is going to be siding track 2. And there, if I just move the panel down a little bit, and there you will see the location of the crossover. I'm going to type in the stationing, which is 310, hit enter, place the crossover. Its orientation is fixed from the dialog box, so I'm going to just data point, and there is the crossover place. And again, to cancel this command out, I'm just going to use my element selection command. Okay, we're continuing with this. We're now going to create a crossing on the track main line. You can place a diamond crossing, a single slip, or a double slip. We're going to place this crossing at station 900 on our track. So again, I'm just going to find that location, and it's here. And again, from the ribbon structure, I'm going to go to rail, place crossing. Again, I'm going to populate the dialog box. The hand is to the left. The orientation is trailing. Again, by point 0. The type of crossing that we're placing is from the crossing library, single slip, Turnouts BV, B_EKV_9. And again, I'm going to give this a name prefix. I'm going to call this CS1. Now again, move my cursor into the screen. I'm going to locate the track main line, as that's where I'm going to place the crossing on. You can see there's the crossing placed, and because the hand and orientation are fixed on the panel, it's placed in its right location. And I'm going to type in station 900, hit enter, and place the crossing. And again, to cancel it out, use my element selection tool. And there's your crossing placed. If you forget to put a name prefix, you can always select the turnout, the crossing, or the crossover, go to its properties, and putting a name there. We're now going to place a turnout on the crossover that we created previously. And then we're going to connect the turnout to siding track 1. So we need to locate the location of our crossover that we created previously, which was here. And again, I'm going to go to the rail ribbon, Turnouts, place turnout. And again, I'm going to populate the dialog box with the hand to the right, the orientation as leading, the placement point again is 0. Again, it's an AV6 turnout, and again, I'm going to give it a name, which is going to be T2, because don't forget we've already got T1. And I'm placing the turnout on the crossing itself. So the stationing will be for the stationing of the crossover. So when I select the crossover, okay, the stationing, I want to place it at station 37. So I'm just going to type in here 37 and hit enter. And once I've hit enter, if I data point and again accept the orientation, and there is our turnout placed on our crossing. And again, to cancel this command out, element selection. If you window into the end of the cross turnout that we just placed on the crossover, you can see it doesn't connect to the track. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to create a piece of geometry that will extend the turnout. So to do this, again, I'm going to go to the rail ribbon, Turnout, extend turnout here by line. I'm going to select the turnout itself, and then how much of an extension am I going to give this turnout? Well, I'm going to give it 10 meters. And you'll see that's the distance it's extending that turnout by. And I'm just going to place that line. And there you'll see the turnout extension placed. Right, so we've extended the turnout. And what we're going to do now, we're going to put a reverse transition between the extended turnout and siding track 1. And to do this, we've got to go to the geometry ribbon, horizontal, reverse curves, and here select reverse transition. Now again, you can populate the reverse transition panel, which is what I'm going to do. We're going to trim and extend both elements. So we're going to go the transition from this extended element to siding track 1, so it's going to trim things off. The offsets from both of those elements is going to be 0, so we're connecting to those elements. The length is going to be 20 meters. I'm going to leave the back and head radius to be calculated by the software. And the feature definition, I'm going to use John Baseline. And the feature name, I'm going to call this Connection 1. So now I'm going to locate my first element, which is the extended line from the turnout. No offset from that. The second element is the siding track 1. And again, there's no offset from that. And now you will see that the reverse transition is placed. And all I have to do is accept it with a length of 20 meters. And the start point is the end of the extended turnout. And I'm now going to trim both of those elements. So if I now use my element selection tool, you can see there's siding track 1 and there's the transition piece in between. So that turnout now is connected to siding track 1. Now in the next section, we will learn how to create a connection between turnout T1 and siding track 1. And again, we're going to use the extend turnout tool, and then we're going to complete the connection using the geometry tool. So again, we're going to navigate to where we can see turnout T1. And again, I'm going to go back to the rail ribbon, go to turnouts, extend turnout by line. And again, I'm going to select the turnout T1. And you can see I'm drawing the line. And this time I'm going to just extend it by 20 meters. And just place it. Now, if I go back to the geometry tools, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place a simple arc. And the arc's going to be placed between the extended turnout and siding yard 1, which is this one here. Okay. So I'm going to go to geometry, arcs, arc between elements, simple arc. The feature definition, I'm going to choose as John Baseline. I'm not setting a feature name here, I'm just leaving this as the default. The first element I'm going to pick is the extended turnout. The second element I'm going to pick is siding yard 1. And the curve I'm going to place here is a curve of 125 meter radius. And I'm trimming both of those elements. And again, now you can see it's a nice, neat connection. Now, the last task that we have to complete in this exercise is we are going to connect the crossing to siding track 2. So again, we're going to extend the turnout. So again, let's go back to rail. Extend turnout by line. Select the feature definition as John Baseline. Again, I'm not populating the panel with a feature name here. I'm going to select the turnout, and this time we're extending it by about 80 meters. Again, to complete the geometry, I'm going to go to Geometry, Horizontal, Arc between elements, Simple arc. Again, I'm going to locate the turnout extension, locate siding track 2. Again, I'm going to use a 125 meter radius, and again, I'm going to trim both. And that completes exercise 3.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.